feeling the nostalgia when you look at me. Thinking about what could've happened or what could've been. Finally your face, I know it, that a sight to see. Take my
Yo, welcome back to my channel. I'm here, your Tito Jake.
We got history. Got me feeling the nostalgia when you look at me.
And now we're gonna talk about the role of the church in the preparation of international relations. But before that, we have to talk about what is the international relation that is concerned with the foreign affairs and relations among other countries. Now we have to go back or in just a brief history of how this international relation was developed with the help of this Christianity or the religion. But just remember that it is difficult to find much evidence of international relations prior to the age of modern state, which means from going back, it is difficult to trace where it started or if there are traces of foreign relation. As a world power before, that is the Roman empires. Roman empire's politics were disintegrated in corruption and also increasing disorder during the 4th century. As the empire weakened from within, it was confronted by a sudden wave of great immigration and from without. Due to the decline of this Roman Empire, it was actually divided in the east and west, while the western half, on the other hand, was collapsing and the western cities struggled. The western industry and commerce have deteriorated. The empire was vast. Western territories reverted to economic poverty, political fragmentation, and social disorder. It's good to know that the basic institutions of Rome were preserved in the eastern half of Europe, the Old Empire. The East Roman Empire managed to maintain political unity through orthodox religion and authoritarian politics from its magnificent capital by Byzance. But it is also good to know that the first significant features of international relations not emerged from these Byzantine politics. The western half of the Roman Empire, on the other hand, fell apart as a result of the great migrations of the 4th and 5th centuries. And a good thing with that, Western Europe had developed into a jumble of tribes, military raiders, village miners, monasteries, trading, and towns. And this fragmented area maintained in social unity and all during the dark ages of the 7th and 18th century. It was due to the reminiscence of a common imperial past that blazed the territory with the collective memory of Roman law and a thin veneer of Christian institutions. These European kingdoms rose under exceptional strongholds, only to crumble under the bigger ones. And nonetheless, it was the uprising and the chaotic congeries of Christian civilization in the far west that the most important institution of international relations emerged, but only gradually. During the 5th and 6th centuries, some institutions arose to provide some measure of unity in order to improvise or impoverish the fragmented West. And this church, the Christian church, was the first of this. Despite all odds, it maintained the rudiments of a common Western identity throughout the Dark Ages. by the act of this Christian church, it ensured the survival of the Christian religion, of course, and it preserved the relics of the Roman civilization. It kept the light of religion, learning, and literacy alive. In fact, it spread the light to the northwestern outskirts. And now we have to go to the advent of print, which it affects the modern knowledge and especially the superiority of the Christian church. Print was used to collect and systematize all types of knowledge that is spread during the modern and dark ages era. In tables, charts, maps, technology, and various types of practical handbooks. They had challenged church as the text spread and broke the church monopoly of learning. That is, because the layman was able to have the copies of knowledge that the Christian or the church has preserved through times. Also, the thing is, there is a pope or popes and a scholar theologian that defend the doctrine of the Catholic Church. But later on, it just led to Reformation caused by a monk or a Christian priest, that is Martin Luther, that later on separates himself from the church. During the 5th and the early 16th centuries, international relations were influenced by a complex combination of technological, economic, moral, and symbolic forces that has been preserved, of course, by the Catholic Church, and they gave the Western world some of its most distinguished characteristics, and most notably, a global web of economic relations centered on European system of strong territorial states led by a powerful Christian monarchs, and each monarch presided over institutions that kept civil society in order, with the populace perceiving the monarchy as a source of authority. A rich blend of religions, linguistic, symbolic factors establishes the king as a legitimate. As some kingdoms arouses during the Middle Ages, we have the Christian, German, and Frankish kingdoms. They were Christian kingdoms and were second force for the unity. They rose and fell during the early Middle Ages, but eventually uniting the continent's central and western regions. So to conclude this vlog, I just want to tell you that the role of the church was so essential for the preparation in the international government. And just in case you still want to hear from something from me, please subscribe and wait for my next video, maybe next week. Thank you so much.
We got history, got me feeling